How many people do you think will be on our flight?
Judging by this bus, no one else.
I don't think anyone else is crazy enough to take a flight that long during this situation. There's no sign of life anywhere. Nobody else is here. This is crazy. Oh wait, there's a person.
Yeah, he works here.
This is definitely the emptiest airport I've ever seen in my entire life.
Today we are making the 22-hour journey from Tokyo to London. I hope that this video gives you a bit of insight of what it is like to take an international flight from Japan to the UK during the current situation. At the time of me editing this video, travel within Japan itself isn't restricted. International travel, however, is nearly impossible due to Japan only letting in certain people, specifically Japanese nationals and some business travelers. Even foreigners who have a family in Japan cannot currently return to the country. And if you want to leave Japan, you have very limited flight options. You have to be prepared to either pay a lot of money for a direct flight to your country, if there is one available, or like John and myself, you can take a much cheaper connecting flight. But this means you are in for a very long journey.
Uzbekistan Airways! Let's go to Uzbekistan! We're trying to check in, and I have no idea what's happening. Are we the only people on this flight?
There is no one else in this airport.
There's literally nobody else in this airport. No one else. I think people that work here were actually surprised to see us. There are flights, there are definitely flights happening. I just don't think they have any people on them.
There's 4, and I think one of them is cancelled.
I think it's strange that the shuttle buses to and from hotels, from the airport to the hotel and back, still run. They still run, there's just no one on them.
Yeah, literally just us on the bus.
It was just us on the bus. Just look how empty it is. There isn't a single person here. Do you know what? This is the least likeliest place that we would catch corona because there's no one else here.
Yeah.
It's really sad because there's a big screen TV behind me, over here, over there, and it keeps replaying Olympics things, like Olympics advertisements. And it's really sad because this year has not turned out what Japan envisioned it to be at all. There's so many adverts and merchandise and signs saying Tokyo 2020, but Tokyo 2020 is not going to be Tokyo 2020 anymore. It might not even be Tokyo 2021. I don't think this will be necessary considering John and I are the only 2 people here.
As we were checking in, a few more people arrived, and I think at this point there were about 8 people including us. While we were checking in, we had to read a declaration that confirmed that we had no symptoms and have not been in contact with anyone who had symptoms. When going through immigration, we had to scan our passports using a machine. We never actually handed our passports or boarding passes to anyone after check-in. As you can tell, absolutely nothing was open, not even a 7-Eleven or a pharmacy, and this meant we couldn't get food. I do want to stress that our flight was in the evening, and some places are definitely open during the daytime, especially now in domestic departure areas, as Japan is currently running a domestic travel campaign. However, if your flight is later in the day, keep in mind that many shops and restaurants still operate on very reduced hours.
Oh, they're teasing me. They're teasing me. We're so close to the food. We're so close. I have some Kit Kats in my backpack, and John has some biscuits in his backpack. Here's a vending machine, and it has little snacks in it. Oh, Calorie Mates and Soy Joy. This is it, John. We're gonna have to Metal Gear Solid it today.
Yep.
With Calorie Mates, Soy Boys,
Macari Sweat.
and Picari Sweat. I'm gonna get a Soy Joy. I have a lot of change. I think this is so cool. And then you take it, and then it closes itself. Cool. Literally not even a 7-Eleven or a Family Mart or Matsumoto Kiyoshi. Nothing is open, so we have a vending machine. That's all we have. So this is how Snake felt. Except no vending machines. Get as many Calorie Mates as possible. This is wheat flour chocolate. This is chocolate.
Yeah.
Look, we've got the whole airport to ourselves. We were told that there's only 16 people on our flight. The entire, what is it, Airbus? An entire plane with just 16 people. And we're on a big plane. It's like 3-seater, 3-seater, 3-seater. So it's not a small plane at all. 16 people, that's crazy. We did eat before we left, by the way. It's just that by the time we got here and we got through security, which was very fast and efficient, by the time we did all of that, we got hungry again. But it's okay, we'll be on the flight soon, and we do have food included in the flight. I'm going to the bathroom, by the way. Would you like to see the bathroom, guys? This is the ladies' bathroom in Narita. It is very, very nice. And the toilets are very spacious. So to close the door, you just pull. And then the hand dryers in the toilets are turned off, but they have been turned off for a while just to prevent infection. Also, another thing I want to mention is how nice the security are in Japan. My bag actually prompted them to search me because I think I left like a camera or a battery, and they were so kind and so careful with my belongings. In Manchester, if my bag's being searched, I fear. I love this show. This guy is a legend. He's an icon. I love him. 10 minutes is 200 yen.
Yeah.
Do you want to try? Are you enjoying this? This is a very strange airport experience. I'm trying to move around as much as I can because I'm going to sit down for 11 hours on the flight. And even if I do like in-flight exercises, I'm still going to feel awful. Whoa, this is spooky. This is like a setting for Dead Rising. This is so eerie. I can just imagine a lot of zombies. I'm completely alone. This is crazy. This would be the perfect setting for a video game, honestly. That's all I can think of. I feel like I'm going to be told off for walking around the airport just because there's nobody else here. Is this what the end of the world feels like? I love these wall illustrations. I think they're really, really beautiful. So at least you have something to look at while you wait amidst the nothing. This one is cool. I put a different face mask on because you have to have a face mask when you travel now. You have to wear it when you're on the plane. The non-reusable ones really hurt my nose. Like, I've got a bruise on my nose. These are just so much softer and they're so much more comfortable. They are a bit hotter, but they're more comfortable. We're gonna start boarding in a couple of minutes, and the people who are doing the boarding are fully kitted up. They're wearing like a white outfit, they're wearing face shields. They have gone to great lengths in general, pretty much everywhere I've seen, to protect themselves, which is great. It's really good to see. I can't wait. I just want to board the plane and go to sleep. I'm so tired. You can actually hear my voice breaking. Also, I'm smiling. I'm smiling under this mask, but you can't tell. I'm actually quite happy. I'm in a good place right now mentally, probably because I had a Kit Kat, so my blood sugar's like, whew. So we just had our temperature checked, and now we're heading to the plane. John, was your temperature checked twice? Mine was checked twice. I got worried then. Actually, my body temperature is so low, they probably thought I was already dead. I wasn't expecting that, but our temperatures were checked again just before entering the plane. So this is what the situation looks like. Everyone has boarded, and the plane is empty. I think there's 4 people in total in just this cabin that we're sitting in now. So even though John and I are traveling together, we still have to sit one space apart. The middle seat has to be empty for everyone. I give you peace and I give you quiet.
You give me neither of those.
We got pillows and a blanket. It says freshly laundered and sanitized. And what else do we get, John? A face mask, gloves, and alcohol wipes. This is actually really impressive. This is good. I wish they'd give me a snack though. That's what I'm really looking forward to, a snack. This is the first time, I think, in my entire life where nobody sits in front of me and nobody sits behind me. And John's gonna move one row forward so that when it's time to go to sleep, because this is a red-eye flight, it's gonna last 11 hours. When it's time to go to sleep, I can put my legs up. I am so excited to not have pain in my legs. I always have pain in my legs when I travel. There are a few things that don't really make sense, but overall, this is actually quite pleasant, I'm not gonna lie. However, if we weren't in this situation, my flight would only take about 13 hours in total, I think. But yeah, we're getting ready for takeoff.
If emergency oxygen is required in flight, masks will drop down automatically from the panel above you.
Aside from being generally tiring, the plane journey was actually okay. Because there were so few people on the flight, John was allowed to move a row forward so we could have a bit more space for sleeping. There were a few things that did not make sense to me. For example, even though there had to be an empty seat between the passengers, someone could still sit directly behind or in front of you. There were only about 4 people in our cabin, but one of the other passengers was automatically placed directly behind us. He did request to be moved, and this wasn't a problem. Also, there were only 2 toilets open for use. I spoke to someone who is cabin crew, and this is currently done on many airlines to minimize cleaning, but if you are someone who works as cabin crew, I would love to hear your thoughts on the current procedures airlines are taking. The cabin crew on this flight had full protective equipment, and I also noticed that they tried to clean the toilet after every use. Prior to landing, we also had to fill out a declaration that stated that we had no symptoms, and we haven't been in contact with anyone who had symptoms, and we haven't been to any of the dangerous areas. Once we touched down in Abu Dhabi, there was a whole procedure to disembarking the plane. We were only allowed to do so a row at a time, and we weren't allowed to stand up or get our bags until we were told we could do it. Even people who traveled and lived together like John and myself had to keep a distance from each other. As Abu Dhabi is one of the destinations that is currently accommodating transfer flights, it was much more lively. There were many more travelers and there were more places to get food and drinks. Duty-free and other stores were open, but were heavily limiting the number of people entering.
It's actually quite busy in London today, in the airport. This kind of looks like Haneda, right? He's full of energy after that flight, and I am ready to die. Well, it's a lot busier than I expected it to be.
After about 22 hours in total, we finally arrived in London and took the train to my city. In comparison to Japan, there were a few things that really surprised me about the way the UK was handling the situation. I will be doing a sit-down video in the future and I will go into more detail then. I hope that this video gave you a little bit of insight into what it is like to fly in 2020. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this vlog. If you did, please don't forget to leave me a like and subscribe, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.